What's up, everybody? I'm John Morgan. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Live Your Purpose podcast. Do me a favor right now. Become a subscriber to the YouTube channel. We're trying to reach our first 1,000 subscribers, and we need your help. So if you can, click that link right now. Become a subscriber on our channel where you can find everything behind the scenes related, anything for any type of upcoming films that we have dropping, anything for any upcoming events we have dropping. Make sure you can find all that information right here on the YouTube channel. Help us grow so we can make as much impact as we can. Become a subscriber right now today. Thank y'all so much for helping us grow. Peace. Hey. Yep.
Pipe down. Oh, you can't hear?
I can't. What you say?
Woke up this morning with a smile on my face.
Yeah.
Jumped out of bed, took a shower, dressed,
Cleaned up my place. Yeah.
made me
Some breakfast.
What you made?
Toast. 2 scrambled eggs. Grits.
grab my keys, grab my purse, grab my jacket,
Get off to work.
beaming, on
Beaming.
way down third.
Yeah. Is it the way? Yeah.
You love.
You know how young we was when this came out?
Yeah, young as hell.
Super young. I remember.
Is it the way
2000, 24 years ago. 11 years old. I knew this was a vibe though, even at 11.
The whole CD I was singing like I had lived all of this.
You had real life
No,
problems
for
at
real.
11.
I can sing every song on the CD.
Can't wait.
To get on.
Nah,
girl.
I got something else to do.
Tell them, Jill. Tell them what you about to do.
For real.
Go ahead.
Really get your groove on. Cause tonight my man's coming through. Yeah. We gon' have to connect some other time. As long as I learn to shake my thing on the dance floor.
I got another nasty freak. It just right where you're tonight.
I'm gonna be the high score. Hey.
Is it the way
Yeah.
you love?
And you gonna play the whole song?
Huh?
You gonna play the whole song?
No.
Yeah. Is it the way you love me?
I'm gonna play this, and then I'm gonna keep it moving.
Every song on this album too.
This is a great album. This is a great album. Just vibe with us. Just vibe with us. And Carl Thomas. It was love at first sight. I know from the way she looked at me. Yeah.
Her eyes
Said it all.
long days and nights we spent.
Here come the hate. On me. This what Carl started hating. Was unhappily married married with children, and I wish I never met her at all. Yeah, even though Carl hating a little bit, we're gonna let Carl get off a little bit more hate before we get started. Me, but she still belongs to someone else. It hurts so bad for sure, because she wants to
Looking at yourself?
be with me. Yeah, I gotta make sure my shit look alright. I gotta make sure my headphones and I don't like looking back on the camera and my hair looking all crazy.
You want your hat to the side like that? You like your hat to the side like that? Why can't you hear?
I got headphones with music blaring.
But how are we gonna have a conversation and you can't hear? Is it just the music? Oh, okay. Whatever. Why you wear your shoes in the house when we don't wear shoes in the house?
Cause I'm about to let this. Oh, don't worry, I got it. Don't worry, I'm gonna do all of that. Even though I love her so, she's got love for me. And she still belongs to someone else. Maybe in another life. All right. We ain't gonna let Carl get in too much more hating after that. Let's give him a round of applause, though. Give him a round of applause. Another one. Give yourselves a round of applause for tuning in with us.
Woo!
Yep.
Give it up, everybody. That's what the baby said.
The baby do say that. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Live Your Purpose podcast. I'm your wonderful host, John Morgan Jr., joined here today by my lovely wife, Dr. Ciara Dennis-Morgan. We so glad to have her back again today. Let me keep going my intro first before we, hold on, give me 1 second, babe. Just be patient with me. We dropped our episode last week called Who Bagged Who. Thank you for everybody who checked that episode out. People who, hit me up and let me know what they thought about it. People who voted on the poll. If you do not know, go back and listen to that episode. There is a poll that I put down on that episode of who do y'all think bagged the other one? Do you think it was me, John? Do you think it was C, who bagged me? Or do you think it was just guys doing that? Neither one of us had anything to do with the shit. It was just something much bigger than us. Y'all vote on that poll so we can share those results with y'all. But all in all, thank y'all so much for tuning in, man. That was a very, very cool episode. I really appreciate hearing y'all feedback. I had a lot of fun doing that. So, because of that, I wanted to have my love back, man. Let's kind of, let's kind of broaden that conversation a little bit. I just want to let y'all know what type of energy I'm on today, since a lot of y'all think that I got bag. I wore my all black forces today, to let y'all know that I'm standing on business. You know what I'm saying? I'm letting y'all know that I'm not playing. And I came to defend myself a little bit as she's shaking her head in disgust. She just asked me, like, why you got your shoes on right now when we pie? I said, don't worry, I'm going to explain all of that. So yeah, that's why I'm wearing my all black forces, to let y'all know what type of time and energy I'm on. My love, how are you? Tell me something good.
Great.
What's your response been, you know what I'm saying, from being on the pod last week? People been listening and stuff like that. What's your response? How do you feel? What's the how do you feel about it? How did it feel good to you to be on the mic and tell a little bit of our story and tell, the world that you think you bagged me?
Yeah. Did it feel good to tell the world that you bagged me? It's hilarious.
I said that you think, but it's cool.
That you think that you bagged me.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. Feels good. Feels great.
Okay.
Blessed to be here.
Blessed to be here. Beautiful. So yeah, so I want to jump right into it. I want to kind of I want to broaden our conversation a little bit from last week. Towards the end of that episode, we kind of got into talking about, marriage, the hardest things about marriage, the toughest things during this season, and just overall about, just some of the stuff that we share, the good things in marriage and stuff that we love about each other.
Your interview bag.
No. I'm just giving context.
Okay, okay.
I'm them in my conversation is bad. I'm just letting people know what to expect.
Set the tone. My bad. Lay it out.
Yeah. Let me get my shit off. So yeah, I want to kind of just broaden that conversation a little bit more, open up a little bit more into, our relationship a little bit. Oh, my bad. Excuse me. That's my midday nap alarm. You know, y'all follow me on the internet. Y'all know that I sometimes don't sleep at nighttime because of our daughter, our lovely, beautiful daughter. And last night was one of those nights. So sometimes I'll be having to get a nap to recover from the sleep that I lost. But anyway, so yeah, like I'm not. No, this is not interview bag. This is gonna be conversational. I'm not interviewing you. I don't think you're gonna interview me. I think we gonna be sharing.
It's just talking to people.
It's just talking to people, boo. That's it. It's just talking to people. It's talking to each other. So go ahead, open it up. You go ahead. You start. You tell me. Because you kind of really the one who set the tone last week with like going into the questions about our relationship. Open it up a little bit more. Like, I want you to share and talk more about whatever. Go ahead.
No, you know what I was thinking about?
Go ahead.
You said something. Did you say this about it?
I don't know.
About the relationship feeling like easy. Did you say that?
Oh, you brought that up, but I didn't get a chance to kind of expound on that.
You
But
said that about that.
you spoke about it being easy during our first date.
I said that.
Yeah, and then I kind of expounded on that a little bit. I reiterated it. I didn't expound on it.
Well, no, I know that that's a sentiment that we share, and I think that is I think that that's just interesting because it's like, oh, it felt easy, and then it's like I felt like there was a lot of conversation on like, oh, relationships are so hard, and so so I just thought it was I think that that's an interesting like dichotomy of like, oh, this felt so easy, this is so hard, and like those two things being true or what easy means, looks like, or whatever. You know what I mean? What does say more about what did you mean by it felt easy?
Yeah. Okay. So when I spoke about it, what I'm referring to when I say that it felt easy, I believe early on that we just agreed and we aligned on what we wanted this to be and what we didn't want this to be, right? And like there was a few things that we agreed on just foundationally relationship wise. Like we didn't want to be doing a bunch of fighting and arguing. We didn't want to be doing like a lot of just back and forth, right? Like I think we really wanted to be in relationship with each other, meaning that we wanted to give each other the space to be able to communicate, show up as yourself, however that may be, you know what I'm saying, on your good days, your bad days. We wanted to be able to give each other the space to just be, right? And a lot of times, like in relationships, I know the stuff that I was exposed to in relationships, it would be a lot of back and forth. It would be a lot of tension. It would be a lot of arguing. It would be a lot of fighting. To me, those are the things that did not relate to being easy. That seems hard, right? If you always in constant conflict, if you always in constant argument, if you always in constant just like, you against me or one or the other, then that seems like that's going to set up for it to be a space of hardship more times than not. That's a space of like tension, right? And I think for us, we wanted to go away from that early on. We set the foundation up for going away from that early. So like, yeah, I think we just agreed on being with each other and allowing the other person to be themselves. Yeah. And I think that set the foundation for us to like nip a lot of that like pointless and that back and forth shit out. Now, granted, I got to keep it real too. Again, I grew up on the other side of it. Like I was exposed to a lot of arguing, fighting everywhere, right? Like, what I'm saying? In my household, with my grandparents, God rest my grandmother's soul, like my grandparents would go back and forth, and just in other relationships in general, like I would see people in constant conflict. So I thought that was normal. So there were times early on in our relationship where that would be sometimes my default. But not only would you do a good job of not responding to that, but like I would more times than not, I would like come back to the center of, this ain't us, right? And that allowed it to be easy.
Yeah, I think that because I didn't come from that same thing in that same way.
Right.
But I do think that I agree with it. I think that you said to yourself and to me out loud, I think you still do this of like, I don't want to fight. Like, I'm not your enemy. Like, I think that
oh my God, yeah, for sure.
I think that you say that a lot, but I think that you saying that verbally is like, to yourself and to me and to the center of like what we created and like how to keep this easiness, this peace, this like harmony within our relationship. Because I think that how we thought or talked about easy might have been a little bit different in how we were approaching it. But two things can be true.
Yeah. So what was your sentiment then on ease?
I think it was the part of what you said around just like being able to be ourselves. It's not a lot of like tension. It just felt harmonious, peaceful, well-intended, no like ill motives, and like this desire to like to get to know each other
So-
and like that way.
So what did you experience beforehand then that kind of shows you the opposite of that? That was not ease.
I didn't have a I don't know. I was thinking a little bit about like my relationships prior to yours, and I don't know that they were like very conflictual in that way. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it was that.
But I'm talking about, I mean, not necessarily conflictual. I'm talking about in the sentiment of what you shared of just like, if ours was lending in more to ease for what you decided, just like, allowing ourselves to show up and be to be ourselves. What were your other experiences before that maybe went against that? Maybe you was in other situations where like, yeah, you wasn't able to just show up and be yourself, or vice versa.
Yeah, I've had a past experience of that. So yeah, did I talk about that last time?
No.
Oh, I thought I did. Yeah, I've had a past experience of like where that didn't feel as like welcomed, or it felt like more, I like the word like tension. It felt more like a little sticky,
Right.
or like where like, when you are in something, it starts to like become like the default, or it just becomes a part of the narrative or the soil of the relationship. And I think that like with our relationship, yeah, the soil of it, the narrative, the default of it was like ease, be yourself. Let's be ourselves. Let's like find ways to like communicate through this. Because I also think that like we have very different communication styles, and we are in a lot of ways very different. So just being able to like understand that and be really committed to like being open to that.
Yeah.
Like, not trying to make you like me or me like you. And I think that like, of course we've gone through periods like that where it's like a flavor that comes out.
Yeah.
But we go back to the foundation of what's important.
Yeah, and typically when you really get to pull back the layers of that, like a lot of that stuff just be rooted in fear, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I would have moments where I would expect my expectations of you would to be communicate in the style that I would, right? Because I would be scared of what would happen if you wasn't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're not as boisterous as I am, if you're not as quick to speak as I was, and I would kind of, unconsciously and subconsciously take that as a as a knock against our relationship, or as a knock against us early on. But I had to learn that like, no, there are multiple communication styles, and everybody's is different, and yours is a little bit more process in that way. You know what I'm saying? You like to think and not waste your words, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Where me, I want to speak, like I trust my inner voice. So so I be trusting my inner voice and my knowing within myself. So typically, as long as I'm rooted in love and I'm not coming from a place of anger or fear or whatever, then more times than not, my initial responses are going to be the most truthful and the most like transparent and the most honest and the most like, vulnerable, right? You know what I'm saying? Where I had to learn that that's not necessarily how you get down.
Yeah, and I had to learn that and create with you that there's safety in this relationship, and that I can like, I don't have to overthink it, and I don't have to hold it for so long before we talk through that together, or I express whatever to you, which is like a thing too. Like you could be quick to speak and I could like not speak
right, yeah,
forever and ever.
Right.
And that's not always
Right.
beneficial to the relationship.
Right. Yeah, for sure. We got to get to it eventually.
Yeah. Talking about some inflammation.
So, all right. So, how you think that that's helped us? How do you think that like setting a foundation of ease has like allowed us to make it to almost 6 years of marriage, survive with 2 babies, like, be together almost 10 years later? Like, how has that helped us in hindsight? Like, and how does that continue to show up for us? This is the process right here. She thinking.
It's He's like dead space.
Yeah, that's what it is when you got the microphone. That's all right.
Hello.
Yeah, no, for real. Sprinkle a little silence in there sometimes, man. Let it sit. Let the discomfort of the silence sit there. You know what I'm saying, for the audience. But go ahead. We listening.
I don't know. This is where it's interesting. This is why I'm not a good potter.
It's not true.
or,
Don't take
thing.
that back. Take that back.
No, because it is. It's like I'm like, did I already say that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, did I already say that?
Podcasting is just saying the same thing over and over and over again. But
If you say so, I'll follow your expertise, Mr. LYP. I can't believe you got these shoes on. I just looked
I'm
down.
standing on business, y'all. You feel me? I'm standing on business. All black forces. Y'all know what that means. If you know, you know.
I think that ease and peace and harmony, because I think that that's what we're describing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that is essential to the sustainment is not a word, the sustaining force of our, like, I think that it sustains our relationship and it grows our relationship. Like, is that we want to have peace and harmony. And how do we how do we create peace and harmony? How do we realize that, like, in all circumstances, that, like, to use your point of, like, we're not each other's enemy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we not here to, like, be against each other. So, like, how do we find, I think that that is so important to our relationship. So important. Because that is, like, that is value based. Like, that is, like, if that is at the core, if that's your value, then that centers then how you behave or what you return to, or not getting caught up in, like, what we talked about last time, the weeds, or, like, the emotion of something or the feeling of something. It's like, or letting your mind trick you into something else. It's like, no, we desire, we create, we say that we about having this harmony, this peace, this ease. So, like, what does it take for us to, like, communicate to get back to that place? Mm-hmm. Or, like, where do I need to, like, check myself or receive whatever? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, to, like, yeah. If that makes any sense.
No, it does. Yeah, I mean, here's how, like, I try to make it as simple as this. Like,
go ahead.
All right, okay. No, what's the point of being together if we gonna be, against each other, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's the point of sharing space with each other and, living with each other and building something together and, being around each other every day and talking to each other every day if we're going to be against each other? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm showing up, I'm here with you because I believe in you, I trust you, like, I value you. I know that you see things that I don't. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I know that you have things to offer me that can be beneficial to me. Like, and I hope to be able to share some of those same things with you. Like, but what's the point of doing this life shit together if we gonna be against each other? Like, that don't make sense to me. Like, if we gonna be in it, then let's do it together. Let's be teammates.
I love that. I think that that's great. I see why people want to come sit on the podcast, because that is just so sweet. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Oof.
Oh, your heart is full. And
Flutter.
Oh.
No, I don't think that it always is, like, I don't think that we are that conscious that all the time that is how it's happening in real time. Of, like what you just described, right? Of, like, I believe in you. If we're going to do this together, like, I think that how we move through the world and the things that grab our attention and how chaotic things are and, like, the impact of certain things don't support us in being in that grounded of a space. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, I think that is why it can be hard, if that makes sense.
What do you mean?
So, because you're describing, like, what you just described is, like, if we are in this together, if we're going to spend this time together, then, like, that is what we have to be intentional around and always remember and keep it the center and the core of the relationship. Correct. And I think that is, like, a very, like, conscious sentiment, like, very, like, oh, I am grounded and conscious and aware that, like, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I don't think a lot of the time the things that are going on in life support us to be in that grounded or conscious of a space, which is why it's so easy to slip from and to be in disharmony and for things to be challenging, stressful, etc. Because it's not so many things that are supporting that. The pace of life, the chaos of life, all that comes with it. And so I just think that takes just a lot of like groundedness and like returning to and it has to be said and communicated. Yeah, it has to be communicated in different ways.
Yeah.
Like regardless of like what our love language is or whatever the case may be, that idea of those values and how you stay within that or whatever it is has to be communicated in a variety of ways to sustain a relationship as well.
True. I agree with all that. My only thing to that is that like, yeah, our relationship, what we have, what y'all see here today.
Me and you.
Yeah, all of that. Like this is a byproduct of a conscious choice.
Sorry, go ahead.
You done, Cassie?
You. Oh, Cassie.
I'm not
So
saying
if I'm
that.
Cassie, who are you?
Her husband. Shit.
Oh, yeah.
Her husband. You
The
try to
good
get
guy.
me slipping.
The
Yeah,
good
you
guy.
try to
You're the
get me
good guy.
slipping.
No.
I ain't white, but I'm your husband. Don't get it twisted.
You're not a white man.
You try to catch me slipping. Look at that. Yeah, look at that.
Not
She
the
try
white
to catch
man.
me slipping. Y'all see that? But anyway, no, no, you're right. I know that it like I don't want that to come off as I don't want that to come off as if it like sounds good or if it's like, optimistic thinking. I want to be clear that, that this is a byproduct of a conscious choice and conscious decisions, right? Like, even going back to our conversation that we had last year, there was work that each of us had to do individually.
Yeah, last year.
I said last year? My fault. Players fuck up. This was the conscious decision last week when we talked about the work that we had to do individually.
You think of an example that you like had to return to harmony, ease, peace, whatever it is. Like, can you think of an example in like real time?
I don't know what you mean by return to harmony and peace.
Like in our relationship where you were like, ooh, I'm challenged in that. Can you think of something? That is okay to be shared.
Right. Yeah. Look at the No, I mean, listen, I think that the stuff that we just talked about, in just our communication styles, like, I know that if we are having a conversation about something that I may deem important and both of us may deem important, if something comes up in the moment, right? And typically I'm like, yo, let's talk about this right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've had to adjust my thinking to understand, like, all right, I can ask you questions, I can say my piece, but that doesn't mean I got to expect a full out, thought out answer from you right there on the spot. And what I've had to learn and return back to in harmony using your language is that, like, I have to be patient in allowing you to have your own process. And really what that means is, like, I got to let you be you, right? I got to, back the hell up sometimes and, like, do my part. Let me show up. Let me speak. Let me be vulnerable. Let me share with you what it is I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, whatever. And allow the space to just sit and you process that. And, sometimes you're able to, like, process it a little bit more quicker and you be able to talk through it in the moment. And sometimes you got to sit with it and, maybe 15 minutes, 5, 20, 30 minutes down the line, you able to, kind of really go into a full out, thought on what it is that we're discussing or whatever. Because in the moment, that shit can be frustrating sometimes. Like, it can be very, I can be impatient in that regard of just like, yo, this ain't that deep. Let's just get through it right now so we can keep it moving. But it's not that it's so much of it not being that deep. Again, it's simple as, like, I have to give you the space to show up and be yourself. Like, you have to handle that in the way that's true to you. And typically that's a small example of, like, all right, I get challenged in that because I gotta just let C be C. I can't expect her to be you.
What was the word for vulnerable before vulnerable was such like a popular word?
I think people maybe I don't really know, but I think people may just misconstrue. Yeah, matter of fact, I know people misconstrue vulnerability with just being honest. Like sometimes because people use this thing of like brute honesty or harsh honesty or hard truth. Like if you know, it's an excuse to kind of like be an asshole or say this rude stuff, but I'm being honest, you know, because I care about you or whatever. And that's not necessarily vulnerable. You know, that's not necessarily
Yeah, and that's
vulnerability
like the
to me.
idea in yoga. I like to talk about that all the time of like truth being paired with doing no harm. Like
Right.
these things have to be married.
Right,
It's
exactly.
not just about like, it's not just truth. It is also married to doing no harm to
Exactly.
yourself and to others. I love that so much.
So yeah, that's what that is.
I don't know. I'm always interested though in like how it's a thing about like men. Well, anybody, but I'm always interested in like men walking the process of like vulnerability in relationships, like how to like practice that, how like what that means, looks like of like how do men sit back and be like, oh, I was vulnerable today.
In relationship,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to keep it as simple as possible. So you know what I'm saying. So we don't go over nobody's heads. I think that the easiest way to be vulnerable is to communicate your feelings and use feeling words. You know.
You know men that use feeling words?
No, I mean I do.
I mean, I don't mean it like
Yes,
that, but I'm
yes.
saying that's not what I mean at all. In your day-to-day conversations and experiences and relationships with men, are y'all talking about how something impacts you and makes you feel and where you experience that in your body and in your being?
Not initially, and not off the back. Usually there's some level of like defensiveness. There's some level of like something that shows up as in conflict, right? Some type of like argumentative back and forth. You know, there's some level of this like there's some level of just like back and forth that happens.
Or deflection or joking or something
Yeah,
like that.
passive aggressiveness, whatever the case may be. There's usually layers of that initially.
Yeah.
Right? But if we can move through that without it causing too much harm, because that's a scary thing too. Like sometimes, like as dudes, like we can deter getting to the thought of communicating feelings. Like we can completely not even get there because the stuff that happens at the beginning, it can be harmful, like extremely harmful, whether that's like saying like some outlandish shit, you know what I'm saying, trying to be hurtful, we can be, again, defensive, deflective, and, say something back to be harmful to try to protect ourselves or whatnot. Or, sometimes it can just lead to just like some physical stuff where like we can't even get to the basis of what it is that we talking about, right? But if we can work through, I've had moments of conflict where I've talked to, dudes that I care about and that I love, like, it may be some of that initially, but if we talk long enough, we can get to the bottom of the feelings of it, and both sides have expressed the feeling side of it. So yeah, I've had those experiences for sure, where men have been able to, express their emotions and express how they feel about things, for sure.
I'm sure many people have. I guess I was thinking more so about the regularity of it, the consistency of it. And I think that is a thing across, I think that's for anybody, whether you a man, woman, non-binary, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Your experiences.
Yeah, for sure.
Whoever you are. Don't go too far off the rail. Let's like. So sorry. Okay, what would you like to talk about now?
Let me produce. No. I wanna kind of go back into what we were talking about within the marriage side and the relationship side of it. This is like, we talked last week about like some of the hard part of it is just like, this is a ongoing choice to keep showing up.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like why do you keep choosing this every day? Like, why do you keep showing up to be here every day? Like, how do you know that this is how is this a conscious choice for you? Like, what makes that?
Because I want to. You have a response to that?
Okay, Messiah.
I know, and Shadi. Yeah, why do I keep choosing our marriage and our relationship? Yeah, it's literally like, I mean that it's because I want to. That's what I want for my life. I want to be in. I really want to like. I really want to be in relationship with you and like to know so many parts and aspects of you and how you evolve in this lifetime. Like I want to know you deeply. Like I want to be like in a very like intimate. I want to really know you and I want you to know yourself and I want to witness you knowing yourself. And so I choose you and choose us every day because I deeply desire to like live a deep, full, rich life. Like I think that that's what that means and looks like. And that's what I really, really, really want. I really want that. I really, really want that.
Oh, that's kind.
Yeah, I do. I really want that.
That's really nice of you.
I want to know. I want to know you like that, and I want us to have that in our home, and I want that to be the spirit of what is felt and what we create. And I want our kids to experience that so that they can know themselves and they can be in relationships to know people. Because I just think life is so precious. It's so precious. So I really, really like. It's what I desire.
Do you think you always knew? Do you think you always knew that relationship, partnership with a significant other? You think you always knew that that was a conscious choice?
Yeah, I do think I knew that.
How?
I would have to think about that some more. I think that it was modeled on to some degree. Yeah, I think that it was modeled to some degree. You know what I mean? Like, and I also think that
By whom?
I think I see my parents choose each other. I think I see that. I think that my dad has talked about loving my mom and her in different times in life. I think I've seen my mother choose my dad and how she chooses him and how she chooses to love him. And like, I think I saw that and see that still. And I think I see it outside of like the family system as well. Like, I think that like, that, you know, and like from a church, like Christian, like Jesus perspective, this idea of like, unconditional love, like sacrificial, like agape love. Like, I think that is like how I was taught that that's what love is, like biblically, like what love is. And to me, so that's what relationships are. And to me, everything is relationships. So like how we're in relationship with the creator and how we're in relationship with nature and like how we are in relationship with each other. Like that's a choice to honor the living and being of something in somebody. And so, yeah, I think that was taught to me. It was modeled to me. And I think that like it was implanted in me that I desire that deeply. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does. You think that do you think that people can? You think people can? Do you think people can feel the way of like, or do you think people can know that choosing to be with somebody from a conscious level? You think they can get there without it being modeled to them?
Yeah, I do. Sorry, I was having a side thought too at the same time.
Okay, no, you good? You all right?
No, I was thinking
you wanna
about.
Speak on it?
No, it's real quick. I was
go
thinking
ahead.
about like in yoga training last year. Nikki always would talk about like attention being like the beginning of devotion, and I just think that like concept is so beautiful too. And when you think about devotion and relationships and like attention, like that is like a choice to like give your attention to something. It makes me think about you and like your
All the
idea of,
attention that I paid you earlier on.
when you.
Then I bagged you. Yeah. Talk about it. Yeah, let it come
So
back
no,
full circle.
but,
Yeah, no, that's good. No, that's good.
No, I think that's like, I think that's so cool. So, yeah. And then you asked me if I think that people can, know that, live that without it being modeled.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I think that, and this could be hopeful, but I really do believe this is my belief system. I think that we are like love. And I think that, I think that we came here with great purpose. And I think that we keep returning home to ourselves. And so if we keep returning home to ourselves, we keep returning home to love. And that's God within us. And so even if we don't always see that modeled in certain ways around us, I think that we are that. And so we exist within that. And so that we can like find our way through that. Now, I think that exposure is super, super like powerful and super, super, super important. I think that there is like, exposure is very key to model, to mirror, to see, like those things. But I also think that even if you don't see it, like in the ways we think we have to see it, like, oh, I didn't have this, or I ain't had that, or I never had, like, I still think that like that's possible.
Yeah, it's the nature versus nurture argument in a different way.
And it's the like knowing who you are and like knowing, like it's knowing who you are and who you connected to. But I think it's always like you even talking about like your examples of like, I ain't never did this before, or I ain't never whatever. And it's no knock to like whatever. It's just oppression. But you know what I'm saying? But like, yes, you can.
No, I mean, listen, I agree with you. You know, I just want to hear your perspective on it. Because I'm a walking example of that. You know, it wasn't necessarily modeled to me in that way, like as far as like what I seen. Although I did have examples of just like what love looked like, right?
sure.
I had a lot of examples of what love looked like. You know,
sure.
despite you know what I'm saying, growing up in a household where you know it was domestic violence and the relationship wasn't you know the best per se. I still have these small examples of just like how my mom would show up and like let it be known that she loved me. And like she, you know, she had these small examples, small but yet big examples of just like how she would intentionally try to pour love into me, you know, from the way that she knew how to, right?
Absolutely.
And I have that across the board in all of my experience, you know, from my family dynamics and just growing up as a kid, you know what I'm saying? I have that across the board. And I think that, like, I think that what I held on too strong and I continue to hold on too strong is the feeling, right? It's the feeling of like, oh no, this does exist. I can live there. I can get back to the point of feeling like safe. You know, I can get back to that feeling of feeling warm and in this place of joy where I can trust somebody, I can trust myself to, you know what I'm saying? I can return back to that feeling.
That's why humanness is so important and like not being like stripped to that, because you got to have space to be able to tap into like what you feeling, which is like, that's so like, so good. And I think that that's even what produces some of the like unhealthy stuff, is that we do feel stuff and so then we feel like explosive and act on these other things or shut it off or numb it or whatever. But yeah, I think that like that's a part of exposure too. Like when we are given something or fed something and whatever, and we think that things have to look one way and like rigidity. But like you said, it's literally so many examples of like how we experience love and beauty, like all around us.
100%. 100%. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, that's good. No, you was talking. I like that.
I ain't saying nothing because you told me last time don't go too far off.
No. Go ahead.
No, I don't have nothing to say. I'm just waiting for you to lead so I can follow.
This is me leading by passing the ball.
No, go ahead. No, what else? What else you got? Because I know we also want to be mindful of time.
True. I want to make sure let me get grounded. Let me not rush past it. Let me leave the space for a little bit of dead silence real quick, because I want to make sure that I'm touching on all of the things relationship wise that I wanted us to touch on.
Yeah, and what's in your heart?
I mean, I'll expound a little bit on what you asked me about, you know, having those moments of challenge, and you got to reflect back onto like the harmony, you know, in the moment or whatnot.
Ease, whatever it is.
Yeah, the harmony and ease.
Even like the initial, like, what, you know, this is what's so good too. Like, what drew you to people? Like, so, one of my therapists asked me about what attracted me to you, like, and this idea of like attraction beyond like romantic relationships and what attracted me to you. But that's a part of like even the idea of like those initial connections. And so how do you like return to whatever that is when things when you get caught up in all the other stuff.
So what's your question? Or what, were you asking me a question or was you, I got lost.
Sorry, I thought I was asking you a question, but no, go ahead and answer about your.
What was you asking?
No, you said you wanted to expound around challenges and getting back to harmony. I was just saying that it don't have to just be harmony or ease. It's just like, how do you get back to whatever was the initial connection or attraction or what was at the root or core of like, ah, shoot.
You know, I think that I think especially for, you know, for men, man, for brothers, man, I think that a lot of times, man, it's important for us to it's important for us to always remember the feeling that we had that we have initially, like when when you are looking to build something with a woman, right? Like, you know, however she made you feel in the beginning, like remember that feeling so you can know how to continuously get back there, you know, because in those moments of challenge, in those moments of conflict, in moments of like, you know, where she getting on your damn nerves, like, bro, you got to be able to really resort back to that feeling so you don't cross this line of like, so you don't cross this line of disrespect that there is no coming back from. Like, you know, once you say certain things and once you do certain things, there is no coming back. So when you have this feeling in the back of your mind of like, you remember how you felt when you initially pursued her. My mom used to always say to me, she was like, man, the way that you got her is the way you gonna keep her. Right. And I think that what she was really trying to speak to was just like, you know, remember the things that you did at the beginning, like, right? So try not to get too high, too low of like getting too comfortable. I think that was the sentiment, but I also think what she was saying was like, you know, stay true to that feeling of like, you know, being in love at the beginning. So you know that like you always acting from a place of love, right? You know what I'm saying? When you kind of keep love at the root and you keep love at the forefront, it will keep you from crossing these, you know, these boundaries, these, you know, again, these places where you can't get back from. And I think that when you keep love in the forefront, I think it'll help you check yourself, right? Like you don't have to say something crazy and then somebody have to check you. You know what I'm saying? You won't have to make this huge mistake. Now you trying to clean up your mess. And granted, I've been guilty of that, right? Like I've been guilty of saying things, to try to get a response out of you or whatever and try to, you know, apologize later on down the line. And, you know, typically you'll forgive me, but I've had to learn that like, you know, I don't have to do those things just to try to get a response. Like if I stay into the space of like what it is I'm trying to get you to know and stay in the space of like, I love this woman, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have to do nothing crazy to try to get no response. Like you're not my enemy, you know what I'm saying? So if I can stay in that, then that typically will allow whatever it is that I'm trying to explain or share to you, you know, we can typically work that out.
And what's important?
Yeah, what's important?
We say that, but like really breaking down, like in a situation, like what is important? Like what is that you're trying to like, what are you trying to articulate? What do you want the other person to know? And even that I think is a level of like vulnerability. How do you like define like love? How do you define that? We talk about like
me
keeping my heart in love and this the woman that I love. Like what's your everybody talks about like, you know, definitions of love. How do you define love?
I think love for me is security, it's safety, it's trust. And those things are just like, you know, can I show up and be myself, right? Can I express myself and, you know, share with you how I'm feeling and it not be, you know, held against me? You know, can I share insecurities with you and you know what I'm saying? You're not holding them over my head. You not judge me, like, right? You allow me to just like share these things with you and that just be it. I'm just sharing, right? You just kind of take up space. So it's the safety of that. It's the security in that. It's the trust in that, knowing that I can do those things and it's not going to be held against me, right? You know what I'm saying? It's just allowing me to just be who I am in that moment.
What's the relationship between repair and love?
What's the relationship? I don't know if I understand the question.
So like when you are like once you have been like hurt, we don't need to talk about this now. Once you've been like hurt, or once you try to do those things, but it is either not received, or you get lost in some like conflict or whatever. How do you repair the relationship? How do you restore the relationship? How do you whatever. But we don't have to talk about that now. It's just interesting, the relationship between repair and love. Because when you talk about like security, safety, like those things at times can feel challenged or threatened, or there's something that can happen and you be like, oh, I don't know if I can go deeper into that or feel safe, secure, whatever. So yeah, but we don't have to talk about that now. Maybe that's another time. It's like repair and forgiveness, and the relationship between forgiving yourself and forgiving other people. And
I think real quick, I mean, I think people will show you with their actions, right? Like, I think that you can still, like, two things can be true. You can have those things challenged. You can have your security, your trust, safety, and things like that challenged or threatened or whatever. And people can make mistakes, right? But their actions actions going forward will then show you that they are honorable and, admitting their mistakes, and know that, like, all right, I'm not trying to do that again. You know what I'm saying? That will be proof in the pudding. Like, people's actions and people's action, love is an action word. Is an action word at that point. Like, people will then be able to prove it with their actions, and if they continue to do the same things over and over, I wouldn't completely say that that's not a testament to love. It's just it's a testament to, or maybe we not aligned like that. Maybe we not on the same type of wavelength like that. Maybe we not really compatible like we think we is. Maybe we not in this for the same reasons type shit. So yeah, that's what I would say to that, real quick.
Did you have something else you wanted us to talk about?
These crazy ass kids.
Why did
kids, I love y'all. If y'all hear this 15 years from now, I love y'all.
I didn't ask you how you felt after we had the conversation around you getting bagged.
How did I feel about it? I mean, I think it's hilarious that people can listen to that and still think that you bagged me. But I've had both of the sentiments. I had people be like, no, you definitely bagged her after listening to that. Like, and I've had other people be like, no, Dr. C she was plotting on you from the beginning type thing. But I mean, listen, I don't care too much about that as much as I care about people being able to see both spectrums and like how we, added value to our relationship. That's what's most important to me. Like, I want people to walk away with knowing that, like, all right, John pursued C to all his ends. He didn't let her know the term away forever. Like, he still was persistent and consistent and showed up, and I also want people to take away from it, but Dr. C was, she was doing a lot of work on her heart beforehand that allowed her to be open to this man who worked with her, to be open enough to, like, to be open to say yes to going on this road trip with this dude. Like, she was doing a lot of stuff on herself to be open to receiving this man's interest and stuff like that. So that's what I care about the most, is that people understand both sides of the spectrum, that we both added value to our relationship. That's what's most important to me.
Yeah, I think the storytelling is cool. I think that even in the process of us going over the story, we still like learned new things about each other, heard new things, even from other like relationships and friends, and like just to like, I just love all of that and all the love that went into that.
It's true.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, real quick, let's get on these kids real quick.
What about them?
Let's just talk shit about them right now since we got them on the mic. Let's just talk crazy about them.
I ain't talking crazy about them kids.
Okay, I ain't gonna talk crazy about you. Like, I'm just kidding, kids. I'm just kidding.
I love them kids. But I do think that what parenting brings up in my body.
Ooh, go ahead, talk about it.
Is something else. I do think that. It's so interesting. I think that I think that's a whole nother conversation. Is like what these kids bring up and like what they create opportunities for. And like it just be like, you be like, oh, I hope this work.
No, like, for real.
But yeah. What you want to talk about with them?
I think that listen, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to make mention of is that the caveat, the addition to children impacting our relationship has like put on Front Street to me that like, yo, taking care of myself has never been more important.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the addition to these children can be so exhausting. It's so time consuming. It's so like, you know, you think about them nonstop, right? Like you got to consider them nonstop. You're not sleeping, right? Like you got to always consider taking care of these other people. Like I have to really be more and more intentional and more non-negotiable about taking care of myself more than ever.
Yeah.
And I have to keep in the forefront that like, no, you and I, you know you don't like when I do this, but I got to keep it real. You and I are the hierarchy here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Our relationship reigns supreme for us to be aligned and for us to be together so we can then pour
For the
that back.
necessity of how they benefit from that.
Yeah, like if
it made me think. Ashley said something about this, like in the comments about the kids to the relationship, and then she had me cracking up because she was talking about her and Chia like just going to Target. She's like, it's really the kids. It's not us.
Real. It's not us, right? That's
it's really
a fact.
just the kids.
That's a
But,
fact.
I don't. It's not that I don't like that you say that. I think that it's not that I don't like that you say that. I think that it is important because that is necessary for the kids to be loved well.
Yeah, like these kids, they will try you. They're going to try you. In my therapy appointment yesterday, I was having this like, you know, I was really spending a lot of time on talking about, listen, I do not want to inflict this this harm onto my children, this long lasting harm on my children, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to be as mindful, as intentional to keeping the childhood trauma at a very minimal, right? Like now some of it is just gonna be experienced. Like they're gonna have to just go through some things. Like it's just gonna be part of the game. Like I'm not perfect. Parenting is not perfect. So they're gonna have stuff to deal with. We gonna have stuff to deal with. It is what it is. But I wanna be as mindful as possible about that. So in a lot of my therapy session yesterday, I was talking about like, you know, the hardships that comes with that, the tough decisions that the amount of awareness that you have to be in the moment so you can like not do things that are harmful to these children, you know.
Also seems like a lot of pressure on yourself too.
So right, so that's what she ended up talking about is that like, man, you really are doing a fairly damn good job. Like you got to, you know,
You're a great father.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. You got to really be easy on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because it's going to be times where you may not get it right. But the other part that she said was that raising kids is hard. Like they get on your damn nerves. They are annoying. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to like, you know, I don't want to conflate this and think that like, you know, because sometimes, man, we be talking about the parenting side of it. And it's like, if you don't speak in this place of like complete positivity, in this place of like complete like agape love with your children, then there's like this indictment of you, how you feel about them. And I don't think that's a fair assessment of the experience.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking about the other day is like I was just this gonna sound like super simple, but just that they are okay. So even this, remember I reposted that thing about like children being like an oppressed group and like being mindful of like who you even in relationship with because of how they like treat kids and et cetera. And that's a whole thing. But even the idea of like these children are like people. So like we even got like these other, it's all of us in this house and like considering all of these like they people like they like and like how we consider what they experiencing when they brains not fully developed. Like the amount of times I got to remind myself like that they brains are still developing and how important this is during this time. Like I have to, because the level of like annoyance or frustration that I feel in my body sometimes is like, what is going on? But like to balance all of those elements, right? Of like, oh, this is really important. And so I want to make sure that I do no harm. They are people. Their brain is not fully developed. It's okay also for me to like feel really annoyed by them. And it's okay to feel doubt and confusion around all of this. And that it is forever evolving, like forever and ever and ever evolving, because they just keep getting older and bigger, God willing. And like, it just is a lot of things to take into consideration and like learning as you go with the people that's in your life. I just think it's really, really, really wild. Like they whole like people, like they whole people, and the stuff that they be flipping out over and throwing tantrums around is stuff I really want to throw a tantrum around sometime as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's
I don't
just
feel like getting my teeth brushed. What I'm gonna get out the bed for?
right, exactly. like we gotta go, and like you moving so slow, and we got stuff to do.
Right.
When really I don't want to move that fast either.
right.
Don't want to get up, want this person to help you do whatever, but don't want that person. It's like I act like that too. I don't want that person to help me do that, but I want that person to help me do that. But be so like frustrated.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you don't come on,
Yeah, for sure.
and I don't care. I mean, I care, but I don't care. But I care.
For real, right. But in the moment, you be feeling like that. And like you said, like, yo, their brains are not fully developed, and they are you're having a human experience with unfully developed brains. Like, when you put it like that, chill out. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to be grounded, you know, understanding, like, man.
But they whole, like, people. And so
Right.
then it's, like, the whole reparenting of yourself and the, like, how you experiencing your relationship with yourself while you in relationship with them is just interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was asking my mom the other day, I'm like, Mom, tell me again about my temperament when I was like, is she like in what ages? I'm like 3 to 5, 6 to 8, 10 to 12. She ain't give me all the answers yet. But like I'm like, tell me, like,
No, for real.
tell me.
No, for real, man. That's a big deal. So no, I think that the biggest thing with the children right now is like, man, taking care of myself is at an all-time high. You know, with them being very, very young, our son being 4, our daughter about to be 2. I gotta take care of myself. Like, that's gotta be on the top priority for me individually, right?
Yeah.
To be able to serve the collective, which is our family unit and our family that, you know, that we have established. And, you know, we have people that are growing up in our house every day. Like, if I ain't my best self, if I'm not on my meditation every day, if I'm not moving my body regularly, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna be my best self. I'm not putting the best things in my body, you know what I'm saying? If I'm not giving myself time to myself to move through things, to work on things.
And sometimes it's just like, for me, so, like those things are great. And sometimes I also, like I don't always get to those things. And I'm sure that a lot of people can like resonate with that sentiment of like, some of those things sometimes feel like privileges, or you just don't have the space or the support to do all of that stuff all the time. Like, but sometimes for me, it is like just having a minute, like, and saying it out loud. Like, it's just like telling Messiah, like, I'm having a hard time right now. Like, I just like give mommy like a minute. And to me, like that minute and that like grace is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I got to tell him like, I'm having a hard time right now. Like just give mommy, like, I need a second. I'm going to do this for one. I'm going to step away for a second.
Bedtime last night, man. I had to tuck away and go upstairs and just put the legs on the wall and just, you know, give my
while you was away.
I had to dip out on them for a minute, man, to give myself time to breathe. I had to, you know, get my nervous system back balanced so I wouldn't, like, you know, flip, so I wouldn't say nothing crazy, so I wouldn't, you know, I was tired. I'm like, man, you know what? Let me take a little second real quick so I don't, you know, kind of go crazy on these kids. Let me center myself, you know what I'm saying? Let me settle my nervous system so I'm not responding.
I told the kids last week, like, I'm about to read this book for me.
Right.
Y'all want to read all of these books. That's beautiful and great. I will read it out loud. I'm reading my book out loud to them because I need to feed my own spirit real quick. And they just like loved it.
Listen, last Saturday, you know, when we got up early, I think you went to yoga this day. They was on me, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, daddy about to go downstairs and put this meditation on. Y'all can sit there and breathe with me if you want to or not, but daddy about to sit here and breathe. Y'all can sit here and do whatever, but I'm about to get grounded. Before I clock in as dad right now, dad about to get grounded so I can, you know, show up the best way I can.
But that's even like full circle of like exposure and modeling. And,
no, for sure, because Messiah was sitting there just looking at me like, and he was a little salty at first, but at the same time, he was just like, all right, you know, dad is breathing, dad
and
is
how
meditating.
you demonstrate and show handling tough moments and taking care of yourself. I think
it.
that's a huge, like, life lesson.
Yeah, so hopefully 30 years down the line, like, he'll have it, you know, way more down packed. But all in all, my parents, man, take care of yourself.
Caregivers, whoever, however you in relationship, whatever.
No, for real, but especially the ones taking care of kids. Take care of yourself, because if not, they'll get you. They'll get you, I promise. Take care of yourself.
You gonna get yourself. You be tripping.
No, for real, man. For real. But I think that's all I kind of got for today.
Oh, is that it?
That's all I got. I mean, bless the audience, man. Tell them what you want to say. Damn, my legs look good right now
They
too.
do look
Ooh. Yeah, they looking. Yeah, shout out to my trainer, DeLon, man. We putting on the gains. You know, I don't skip leg day. You feel me? But no, share anything else any last words that you got with people.
I ain't got no last words.
Okay, you ain't got no last words. All right.
Thank y'all for listening. Oh, I hope you I like hearing from people and stuff. So yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be invited back or not, but it sure is.
All right, y'all let
Talk real nice to me on the days that I'm coming on the pod. I'll be like, oh.
If y'all think that, you know, we should really keep this thing going, you know what I'm saying? Ciara and I, you know, continue to talk about our experience and share with y'all, man. Please let us know if this is something that y'all really want to hear. And if it is something that y'all want to hear, just tell us more stuff that y'all want to hear us touch on.
Yeah, what I want to talk about.
You know, we try to really be open book. We try to really be real up here with y'all. You know, we ain't trying to be on no fluff.
And
no
what
bullshit.
y'all talking about in y'all's houses. Because I like what we talk about, then we be talking about it some more, and then we be talking about it over here and talking about it over there. What y'all talking about at home? What y'all talking about? So we can all talk about it. Let's talk about it.
That's a fact. Well, listen, man, another episode, man. We appreciate y'all as always.
Talking to me. You know that song? Every time I ask me, talking to me. You know that song?
So,
is that A-Marie?
So the thing that we didn't talk about last time she's on is that Ciara's older than me, right? So sometimes, like, she'll have like these moments where like her age will just show,
old.
right? She'll separate herself in just like the relationship that lets me know, no, she's older than me. She do shit that's just like old people stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was one of them moments where she just busted out into that little talking. That was, you know.
You just don't know that song?
You said that was A-Marie?
I think so.
I don't know that.
Talking to me. What you only know that what's the A-Marie song that?
It's just one thing. And I know the other one, cause I know the video.
Fall in love.
That one, yeah. I know that one.
Where A-Marie
So many things I want to do. So much that I want to say. Yeah, I know my shit. Yeah. Come on now. Why don't we? That's a great outro song. Real quick. Hold on.
Oh, you gonna be able to find it?
Absolutely. What you mean?
Your young self.
Hey. Hold up. Oh.
It's playing on the speaker.
It's playing on my headphones. It's not even playing on my dang on. Oh, it's playing. It says it's playing on 2 devices. Hold up.
My elbows popping. Shoot.
There we go. Okay, hold on. Let me end this right with y'all.
My push-up pop melting.
Peace, y'all.
The kids.
Peace, y'all.